What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Brendan Meyers and welcome to the Create You Experience. Now, if you're new here, before we jump into the actual podcast that is on all audio platforms as well as here on YouTube, is we bring in a guest and we create an experience for you. So maybe you can gain some inspiration, some motivation, or even take some structures and strategies into your own life. So without further ado, Kevin, come join me, my brother. Come on, come on. This is Kevin Hines, someone that I have gained so much inspiration from. He's motivational, he speaks all around the world. He'll tell you his story very, very soon to you. But first, what are we doing today?
We are giving out $10 Chipotle cards to anybody who can do push-ups till fail. That means if they can do 1 or if they can do 50, they're getting a card. $10 Chipotle to get that double wrap, double chicken. Let's go.
So without further ado, I hope you enjoyed this experience and then let's jump right in.
Here's something that's interesting about me. Like I'm diagnosed with an illness. It's called Marfan syndrome.
You know, it's just, I went through like I guess a bad breakup, you know, so I don't know, I guess I have like a PTSD, I guess, from that.
I threw everything in the trash. I'm gonna do sober now.
Yes.
All the way.
Yes.
I never even drank not even a beer.
I had a seizure the other day.
You had a seizure? I'm so sorry. Do you have epilepsy?
What's that?
Do you have epilepsy?
Yes, I do.
I do as well.
Okay. I'm telling you, I used to do hundreds of push-ups every day.
Tell me your name, my friend.
Matthew Mitchell.
Matthew Mitchell. It's a pleasure to meet you. We're seeing if people can do push-ups till fail, and they get a card. So you can do 1 push-up, or you can do as many as you can.
Okay.
But what are you game, brother?
I'm game.
Let's do it, man. What I want to do is ignite everyone else's minds and blow up the possibilities of failure. Like I want to blow them up. Like, oh, I'm gonna fail, or I'm gonna make a mistake, or I'm not gonna be able to do this, or I'm never gonna be able to get off the streets. I'm never gonna be able to be a painter. I'm never gonna be able to be an architect. Whatever it is, I believe. I just believe so much, and that's why I'm so passionate about Create You, and we give Chipotle cards. They do something. Even the guy with, what was it called?
Marfan syndrome. He said right off the bat, oh, I can't do that. And then he got up and did 3 push-ups. This gentleman over here we talked to said, oh, I can't even do 1.
Exactly.
And he got down and did about 15.
That's it, and that's all it takes, and that's what's inspirational to me. Seeing someone that says they have this illness, that disease, this sickness, whatever, and they literally combat it immediately right there because they're not thinking about it.
Yeah.
They're thinking about something greater, they're thinking about the reward, they're thinking about something that's going to give them nourishment, and then they do it. We can do that everywhere in our lives.
Yeah. Keep pushing it.
50.
Ah, there you go, man. There you go. Awesome. That's amazing, man.
Yes,
so look, this.
Honor to meet you, my friend. Thank you
you,
very
sir.
much for doing that with us.
Thank you so much.
You know, brother.
Give him 2.
Brother.
Give him 2.
You earn these, all right? 2 $10 cards to Chipotle. Get yourself some good grill.
I will.
You know what you want to do is you want to get the double wrapped, double meat, okay?
I will.
Double meat.
If you don't like meat, get those vegetables, okay?
I will.
Brother, we asked you to do 1 push-up. With all these physical health problems you have, you did 3 massive push-ups. They look beautiful. They looked in great form. So we had to give you 2 Chipotle cards for $10 each. I hope you get a good meal today, my friend.
I will.
Get double wrapped, man. Double wrapped.
Double wrap?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know
Like,
that
what
is?
would you suggest?
Double wrapped,
Okay.
double chicken.
Okay.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah. Okay.
Double wrapped, double chicken.
And if
Got
you
it?
don't like chicken, get some steak, man. Or you can mix it up. You can get both.
All right, brother.
There you go,
Oh,
family.
jeez.
All right?
What's that good for?
That's Chipotle $10.
The Chipotle 10
Go
is
get
awesome.
yourself a double wrap, double chicken, okay?
I'm not feeling you. I'm an old man.
All right, brother.
Make sure it's double wrapped, double chicken, and you eat the hell out of that.
I eat those down like
Get it done like a champ.
I'm a good carpenter. I don't know what's going on.
Well, we're going to pray for you, okay?
My rails came off.
Yeah.
Rails come off all the time in our lives. It's how you react during those times, you know what I mean?
I'm not reacting very well.
But hey, you get to, what did you just do? You just did push-ups. You were like, I don't even know if I can do push-ups.
You said you couldn't do it, and you did it. That's one thing you did that you said you couldn't do.
Yeah.
We love you, man. Mickey, you're going to get through this, all right? $20 for the Chipotle.
Ooh.
Go get yourself fed.
Where's Chipotle at? I forget.
Oh, I don't know.
We have no clue.
You don't have any clue
You'll
either?
find it eventually.
Where y'all from?
I'm from San Francisco. I live in Atlanta. This is my homie. He's from here.
I was doing Atlanta not that long ago
man,
too.
you know.
Cool.
Ain't
I
been
like
the
your hat,
same
brother.
friend, yeah.
Yo.
And there you go. All right, guys, so there you have it. Such an incredible, incredible time. We gave away these gift cards. What did you learn from this?
I learned that people are willing to work harder if they earn it.
Right.
I learned that people who thought they couldn't do it learned that they could.
Yes.
And once, if they had faith in themselves and their ability to connect and confirm and believe, then they would get it done.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I learned today. So many lessons when you go out there and you do something new, you try something new, you create the opportunity for yourself. You don't just sit there and allow other people to create it for you, you create it for yourself. And that's the magical thing behind this. So, thank you, Kevin. Dude, that was amazing. Now, let's jump right into the podcast and join us. This is gonna be an amazing time. Hey, my name is Brennan Meyers, and welcome to the Create You Experience, where we ignite your breakthrough, create your experience, and bring your vision to life.
I can't sit around and wait till it goes right, cause I've been hopping over obstacles my whole life. I got a vision and I know it's about to take flight. I'm dedicated to growth, I keep my mind right. I fell down, got up, I'm unbreakable. Anything in my way, I'ma break through. Lights, camera, action, take two. Can't worry about what they do, you gotta create you.
Welcome to the Create You Experience. Again, as you heard it in the intro, my name is Brennan Meyers, and oh boy, am I excited for today. Now, before I introduce you to the guests, remember we are on YouTube and all audio platforms. And before we jump into the actual podcast, we always have an experience. And today we gave back to the homeless. We gave $10 gift cards to Chipotle, double wrap burrito, double chicken, next level type shit, unfiltered, baby, by the way. Just wanted to throw that in there. To the homeless, and they did push-ups for it. So if you are on audio platforms, we're on all audio platforms, come on over here to YouTube and check out the experience. Now, before we get started, remember, if you review the podcast, I give you 7 really cool gifts, a meal plan, like all this different stuff. So do that on iTunes in the show notes. It's also in the description. So now that I'm done with all that shite, we are here with my very good friend, Kevin Hines.
That is my name.
Oh boy, oh boy.
It's true.
Are you related to Hines Ward by any chance?
I wish.
Oh.
I like to pretend I am.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
We'll just say Hines Ward's brother.
Yeah, I can run as fast as he can.
Cool. Well, he's not too fast. He's not too fast. Just so you know. But anyways, Kevin Hines, guys, let me just throw this out there really quick. This is someone that has seen life and death more times than you could ever imagine. He's experienced more than you could ever imagine. He guest speaks all around the world. He changes and transforms. I don't like to fuck change. He transforms people's lives and allows them to see the evolution within themselves. Kevin, can you just give yourself an introduction? Like just basic introduction.
I think you just did, but yes, I can. Born in squalor in a crack motel in the Tenderloin in San Francisco, the worst neighborhood there then, the worst neighborhood there today. Transition, adopted by beautiful family, given a great life, great childhood, great adolescence from a traumatic infancy. Ended up at 17. I don't know how to explain this other than to say my brain broke. I was on a stage in front of 1,200 kids and parents and teachers, performing in a show called How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, playing a character called Gatch. And my brain broke. I had a complete paranoid delusion, and that was the start of my life crumbling before me. And I ended up at 19 because of depression and a diagnosed bipolar disorder, jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. I clearly survived, as I'm sitting next to you right now. One of 39 to survive the fall in 80 years. Almost 3,000 people have died off that bridge. That's a 99% fatality rate. I'm lucky I get to be anywhere, but I'm grateful to be here with you.
Yeah. Take that in for a second. He jumped off of the Golden State Bridge as a teenager, right?
19, yeah.
Wasn't even 20 years old.
I was a baby.
And right when you let go, say it.
It was an instant regret for my actions and 100% recognition that I just made the greatest mistake of my entire life, and I thought it was too late.
And the most incredible thing is that was the greatest thing that maybe even happened to you?
You know, that's what people say. It was A, the worst day of my life, and B, the greatest. Not because I jumped. Let me make it crystal clear. You know, people out there who are suicidal, it's not worth it to attempt. Don't learn the hard way like I did. I learned the hard way so you don't have to. And, you know, I will tell you that there were 4 things that day that came into play to save my life. Can I tell you about them?
Yeah, tell me.
All right.
I'm all ears.
All right.
We're all ears.
So I'm on the bridge, pacing back and forth for about 40 minutes, crying like a baby. Waterfalls flowing from my eyes. Bikers, joggers, tourists, runners, police officers searching for suicidal people went by me twice. So I felt alone, surrounded by a sea of people. I felt a perceived burdensomeness that most suicidal people feel, that everyone hated me and wanted me gone. And I picked a particular light rail. And a light rail, if you don't know the Golden Gate Bridge, there are light rails that go from 0 to probably 300 or 400. Right? It's a 2-mile bridge, right? And I picked a particular light rail. I leaned over, crying my tears to the waters below, and that's when it happened. A woman from my left approached me, and all day long, Brendan, all I wanted was for one person to see me, and say, "Hey, kid, are you okay? Is something wrong? Or can I help you?" I made a pact with myself that day on the bus. If one person says those words, I will tell them everything and beg them to save me. Woman approaches. Beautiful woman, blonde, curly hair, and I'm thinking, this is the one. She's gonna help me. She's gonna save me. I don't have to do this. Somebody cares. And then she pulls out a digital camera, and she goes, "Will you take my picture?" And I really laughed inside, like, lady, this is fucking terrible timing.
Yeah.
But I took her camera, and she stood right here, right where I am ready to die. And she posed for 5 pictures for about 5 minutes. She had to set herself up for every one of them. She thought no, it's year 2000. That didn't even exist.
Gosh, damn.
There was her Facebook profile. She was trying to. Here's the thing. I used to think that this lady, why couldn't she see my pain? Why didn't she say something with the waterfalls flowing from my eyes? And nobody else said it on the bus. But somebody informed me just this year, Kevin. There was a foreign language. There was a language barrier. She was trying to show you something beautiful. You missed it. And had that woman not stopped me for those 5 minutes, what happened next would not have occurred in the timely manner in which it did, and I would not be sitting next to you. Let me explain. She takes 5 more minutes of my time, right? And when she leaves, I say, absolutely nobody cares. The voice in my head, the auditory hallucination, yells at decimals. I'm not going to explain to you. It pierced your eardrums. Jump now, and I did. I catapulted into free fall, 220-foot fall, 25 stories, 75 miles an hour in 4 seconds. In those 4 seconds, the words in my mind were, what have I just done? I don't want to die. God, please save me. I hit the water. Am I allowed to do that?
Yeah, it's okay. It's a really expensive table, but it's all good.
Okay. I hit the water. And because of the impact from the height and the speed I was at, I shattered immediately my T12, L1, L2 lower vertebrae into shards like glass. But here's the thing. A woman driving by in a red car, at the moment my hands left that rail, called her friend in the United States Coast Guard, who happened to be tied to the unit that was manning the waters that day. The only reason they got to my position within less than the time I would set in hypothermia and drown, which was a 3-minute window, was because of that woman making that phone call to her friend in the Coast Guard. In the water, I went down 70 feet, opened my eyes, and I'm drowning, and I don't want to drown. So I'm thinking, why'd you jump into a giant body of water? And I swim with only using my arms to the surface, but I don't think I'm going to make it. I get to about, imagine if I'm at the ground and the water level's up here. The water level's up here. And you see a lit circle of water because of the sun, and I'm trying to get to that lit circle of water to get some air. But I keep convulsing. I don't have enough air.
Yeah.
Right? And I say to myself, Kevin, you can't die here. If you die here, no one will ever know you didn't want to. No one will ever know that you knew you made a mistake. I break the surface, I bob up and down the water, and I prayed, God, please save me. I don't want to die. I made a mistake on repeat. And that is when a creature began circling beneath me, faster and faster and faster. I'm thinking, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I didn't die jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge, and a shark is gonna fucking eat me. I'm freaking out. I'm punching this thing with my right arm. It won't go away. It just keeps circling faster. No longer am I wading in the water to stay afloat. I'm lying atop it on my back, being kept afloat by this thing, thinking to myself, this is one heck of a nice shark. I actually named him. It was a weird moment. He was
in that moment.
In
you
that
fucking
moment, I
your-
named him Herbert.
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 You could have chosen all these different names.
No,
I
it
freaking
was,
chose
it was
Herbert.
between two. I'm laying on top of the water going, what is happening? This shark is going to bite me at any moment. He might be like, is he going to bite me? Is he going to take my leg? Is he going to take my arm? He's not biting me. What is happening? It was either Mortimer or Herbert. I went with Herbert. It was a good choice. And it was a moment of levity. And then the Coast Guard boat pulls up behind me and this creature takes off like a bat out of hell. I would only learn that it wasn't a shark a year later, to the date of my attempt. I was on a show called Primetime Live with John Quinones. He does that show, What Would You Do? Mm-hmm. And on the show, I said I thought there was a shark beneath me. People write into this show from all over the world. One man's letter sticks out above all the rest. The guy's name was Morgan McWard from Las Vegas, Nevada. And on that day, he was on the bridge with his mother. And on that day, and then on the show, he writes to me, Kevin, I'm so very glad you're alive. I was standing less than 2 feet away from you when you jumped. Until this day, no one would tell me whether you lived or died. It's haunted me until right now. By the way, Kevin, there was no shark, like you mentioned on the show, but there absolutely was a sea lion. And the people above looking down believed it to be keeping our body afloat until the Coast Guard boat arrived behind you.
That's insane. And oh, by the way, while we're doing this, there's somehow people on the literally scrubbing the windows in these tall.
They're trying to make your windows clean so you can see the beautiful view. I mean, that's okay.
It's beautiful.
Thanks to them.
But not to discount what you just said, like that is absolutely mind blowing. If I didn't know the story already, I would literally be like on the ground, like, hey, we got to end this because I don't even know how to comprehend that. That's how amazing it is. And I don't know if you believe in a higher power or whatever you believe in. Like, I have my own beliefs, but like you're here for a reason, and that's the beautiful thing. You talk about the same story often, right? Yeah. You're all around the world, and I don't want this to just be the same talk that you talk.
No, definitely not.
So now that people understand, and you could hear more about Kevin's story and everything there, like I want to dive into the shit, like the real shit, like how to help people, but also at the same point, like some of the things that you actually go through that people might not understand in the same way as you do. So what are some of the things you go through?
It's so funny how many conferences I go to and speeches I do all around the world where people are like, oh, you're fine now. You're doing great.
Yeah.
Look, you're in a suit.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I think they're gonna break your window.
Can you tell them that like you open up the window and tell them, hey, don't wash my windows. We're like doing a podcast. You can go right ahead.
You're a producer extraordinaire. Just go out there.
That's extraordinary. There she goes. There she goes. All right, but keep going because people can barely even hear this on audio.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Screw those guys. Okay. So like people say to me all the time, especially people with mental illnesses or who have diagnosed mental illness.
Right.
You're fine. Why should we care about your story? And I'm not fine. I deal with severe and very serious hallucinations on a regular basis.
Right.
I have paranoid delusions that make me feel like people all around me are trying to kill me, trying to hurt me, or out to get me. When I'm in large crowds, which is every day, there's a large audience of me talking to them, and I feel like they're going to rush the stage at any moment and take my life. It's a weird thing I've got in the back of my mind that I can't shake. There's often times where I beat the paranoia, I defeat the paranoia. I never don't go on the stage to speak. I always do it, but like I have this, I fly up into these euphoric natural highs, and once you go up, you must come
down, and
I come crashing down into a dark place, a place where I can't breathe, where I can't see potential futures, and I live with these thoughts of suicide that plague me. And I'm not complaining about it. I know how to defeat all this stuff.
Right.
I know how to fight it. I know how to beat it. And I do it one day at a time, one moment at a time. And
so and we were actually talking about some of the things that you do experience, like some of the hallucinations. And I know it's like it's a tough subject because obviously it comes up, and you're like, but just so people could understand, like this isn't just some random shit that he's bringing out of his hat. Like, oh yeah, this is stuff. Like even me, honestly, like when I heard about this stuff before from people, I'd be like, there's just no way. That just doesn't make sense. Explain it.
Let me break it down to you. Like the most vivid hallucinations I ever had have been physical. Okay. You ever see a movie where a guy gets his ass kicked and like then he pops up and wakes up?
Jackie Chan.
All right. Right. But I'm saying like, no, but like you ever seen a movie where someone has a visual and physical hallucination? You ever seen a movie where like a guy comes out of a deep sleep and he believes something happened, but it didn't happen, right? I thought that was bullshit. I thought, I've gone through all my hallucinations. They're never going to change. They'll be like this the rest of my life. And let me tell you, in the beginning, the hallucinations I had were Death himself hovering through my window with his hood, his cloak, and his staff and blade, his scythe in his right bony arm. And he'd reach out his other bony arm, he'd turn it upside down, he'd say, come home with me, Monday through Monday, every single week. But I never told anybody. And then I start having hallucinations of giant metallic spiders crawling across my ceiling, down my walls, and eating me alive. And then I start having hallucinations of like a miniature hotel in the corner of my room. And there's just like millions of people sticking their heads out of the window, speaking in British accents and in foreign tongues. And I'm conversating with them for hours. Hours.
Wow.
Just having a conversation with these people that don't exist and when my father comes in, Kevin, what the hell are you doing? That was his favorite mantra. What the hell are you doing, Kevin? And Dad, I'm talking to my friends. What? Kevin, there's nobody there. Dad, they're all there. Can't you see them? And he can't, because they're in my reality, not his.
Yeah.
But the hallucinations lately have become something else. You know, I last year, after meeting a guy you and I know named Logan Paul, after meeting him, I was on a trip with one of my speakers who was from Australia, and I was not well physically. I had burns all over my skin from medical burn, and my friend leaves, and I hallucinate that he and Logan come back. Logan is in a different state, in a different country. Logan and he come back, beat the living shit out of me for 2 hours. Like, that's how time was in this hallucination, okay? Time, right? For 2 hours, and throw me through a plate glass window. I fall 2 stories to the ground, and I can feel the blood seeping out of my head, and I die. And I come up on the bed I was in, and nobody else is there but me.
And you don't even feel, and when you wake up, you don't feel any pain.
No pain. I feel these guys literally beating the living bejesus out of me. And I feel the cuts that go through me when I go through the window. I feel cracking my head open on the ground. And then I feel my heart stop. And then I come back on the bed. Like, this is no joke. People hallucinate all over the world. It was in the Bible, you know, the burning bush, all that stuff.
Yeah.
People have hallucinated since the dawn of mankind, and really, we don't know enough about it to understand why it happens in the way it does, or why one person's hallucinations go from being death coming in and not being touching you or anything, not just talking to you, or the motel in the room, to going into physical, like someone, so you feel every punch.
Yeah.
And then what happened is, recently, I developed neurotoxicity to my brain, which I'm dealing with now with some treatments.
Something like mold.
I was around or somewhere near black mold at some point in my career traveling, and it's causing my brain to eat itself in certain areas.
And you have it under control now, right?
It's under control now. I'm cognitively getting better. There were times when I could not walk, I could not stand, I could not speak. Anyway, this is what happened. So I start to have these hallucinations that I've never had before, and I don't know why. And I'm like sitting on an airplane. There's a guy next to me. I'm at the window, and all you see, you're the guy. All you see is me doing this. It's delicious. And then what I'm seeing is a room that I'm in with my family, my entire family, and we're all eating cake, which I'm intolerant to.
And you were eating it with your hand.
That's
a problem.
I
don't know if the hallucination was the problem. I think the way you were eating the fucking cake was the problem.
I was being very rude. I was being very rude.
Disrespectful.
But that was just the beginning, you know, because now I'm having full conversations with people that aren't there in public places, right in the middle of a conversation with you. Like, I'm in this reality.
Yeah.
And in 5 seconds, I'm in another reality.
Wow.
And people are going like, hey man, who are you talking to?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the window of the plane, but I see a room filled with people I know and love.
And that's scary. Like, a lot of scary things can happen from that. You could literally try and leave the airplane.
I could be on the no-fly list right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, no joke.
Yeah. Well, so this is like proof right here that, like, your mind can do anything and everything.
Ugh.
And when you do have control over it, the things that you can create in your life are beyond anything you could ever imagine. I think that's part of your story. Like, it's part of your message, right?
Yeah, man. Like, it's about, like, okay, so you go through hell, all right? You break through the barriers. You get to the bottom pit of your life.
Yep.
And you rise up, and then you go right back down. And that's the nature of bipolar disorder. Whether you agree with it or not, or what it is, what it isn't, it is made up by man. Let's be fair.
Right.
The term manic depression, bipolar disorder, it's a term made up by scientists,
right?
Psychologists, psychiatrists. Here's the thing. I have brain pain. I'd much rather just express it like that. I have brain pain. I've had it since I was born in squalor, right? But here I am today next to a great friend and a good man who's doing great things to help channel and change other lives. We are conduits, all right? And if we can express the right message, because if all I did was run around talking about pain, everybody in the room is going to be in pain.
Right.
You can't do that. That's dangerous. That puts people in a suicidal state.
Right.
But if you and me go around the world and talk about hope, healing, recovery, finding light at the end of every tunnel, and recognizing that you can defeat any pain that comes your way, no matter how difficult, you don't let that pain defeat you.
Yeah.
You let it build you.
And that's what keeps on happening in your life. And here's the thing is, if you remember because you also have like a very soft side of you. You're like, you want to make sure everyone's okay. Like, hey, you're good, right? You're good, right? When we were out there and handing out gift cards to these guys with all different types of problems. I don't like to say problems, but different things that they're dealing with at that moment in time.
Yeah.
We noticed that one guy was like, I can't do any push-ups. I have this disorder. What was do you remember what it was called?
Marchand's.
Marchand's.
Was it, double check that. Steph, was it Marchand's or Marchand's?
It's one of those.
It was
things.
Marchand's
One of
disease,
those.
yeah.
But like it had something to do with his connective tissue and everything, and like he can't use it, whatever. And he said, I don't even know if I can do one push-up.
No, he said I can't. He said I can't do one push-up.
And then he started doing a push-up, and you were like, okay, just you could just do one, and I'm over here like, fucking do more, bro. And it's like the compassionate side out of you, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I'm living in that, hey, you can do more.
Yeah.
Keep on pushing it, because he's probably been told time and time again, you can't do a fucking push-up. You're gonna die young because of this.
Your tissue's gonna tear, whatever it is.
Whatever it is. And like you do the same thing in other instances for other people. Like if someone's feeling like they're blocked off from a business opportunity, or even if they're going through depression or whatever it is, it's those small wins that really create themselves, or me or you or everyone around us. So like it's that example. So like, what do you really pride yourself off of? What is your message when you go around? What do you want people to take? What is it? I know it's all about the create you. That's good advertising for me.
Yeah,
but but like seriously, what is it? What is your message? Why do you do it?
Because I want people to know that pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. You choose to suffer or you don't. That narrative, suffering, has been given to us by clinicians, period. You walk into a psychiatrist's office for the very first time. They go, hey, buddy, you have this disease, period, the end, done. And by the way, you have to fight it with these things. And also, you're suffering from this disease. You're suffering from bipolar disorder. Bullshit. I never suffered a day in my life. I am thriving like a king on a throne, all right? I'm doing the best I can with what I have. I've got the most beautiful wife in the world, but I would never have met her had I died off the Golden Gate Bridge. Oh, don't point, sorry.
Yeah, don't point. I tell him don't point.
Yeah, he tells me don't point all the time. And he's right.
I grab his finger.
It's really,
I'm like, I'm going to eat your finger.
Here, let's show them what we did.
Yeah, go.
And I did this.
No.
Oh, God, he broke it. Okay. He's so strong. I want triceps like his, but I'll get there. Okay.
Triceps, baby. Baby. Baby.
Miniature triceps.
Mini.
Mini.
It's okay to talk, man. It's
okay to talk. Yeah, you know it is. That's what the shirt says.
So this is what I love, man. This is what I love. You know, we're really starting to tap into things, but here's the fact. We could talk about this on a stage all day. We could talk about like, hey guys, you can do it. Like you got this, whatever. But the truth is, you don't win during your like good times. That's not when you win. You win when shit hits the fan. And one thing that I mentioned earlier today was one thing that I like to do to combat my mindset, or whenever anything goes bad, is by preparing before it even happens. But preparing before something traumatic happens in my life. And so the way I do that is with the small wins. So like I said earlier, if I go out to dinner, right, and I went to a basketball game, went to the playoff game, Denver Nuggets, they won, baby, But like I went to the game, went out to eat with some friends, and then after they all went home, I was like, hey guys, just go ahead. It's like 11:30 at night. I usually like to go to bed earlier, and I went for a run, right? I started running. I started screaming at the top of my lungs, just enjoying myself, dancing, like, you know what I mean? And I kept on running, and I kept on running, and my stomach's full, and I kept on running. And I just kept on running and running and running. And then I went and I stopped and I started shadow boxing. And then I said, okay, I have about a 2-mile run to get home. I can choose to either, it's 12 o'clock at night. I'm like, I could choose to not do this and just walk home and just enjoy the breeze, enjoy everything, like everything else in my life, just try to enjoy it. Or I can combat what my mind's trying to tell me in that moment, and prepare myself for anything that would ever happen in my life in the future. And those are the small wins. It's like when I don't want to do it, I do it. And that's the reason why I go for those runs. I'm uncomfortable as fuck. And you know when shit's hitting the fan and you're going through something or I'm going through something, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But if we're so used to it and we're so disciplined and we create these habits, that's where we shift times 100 and build and create you and I and the lives around us. So what would you say is something that you do to prepare yourself for anything negative to come your way? It could be talking to a therapist. It could be even deeper than that. I do something that maybe you never shared before. Maybe you take your wife out to a dinner, or maybe you go have tea alone on your own. What is it? I know there's something that prepares you for these dark times and these hard times. What is it?
It's breathing, man. You know, my good buddy Jeff Levin says breathe, and he's a connoisseur of the damn thing. And if we breathe right every day for certain periods of a day, releasing oxygen into our brain, not depleting it, we will function at a higher capacity, and our brains will have more power. And that means if our brains have more power, so does the rest of our body. Our brains are physiologically and physically connected to the rest of our body. If we don't earn that, build that muscle, what's the point? We can't build this muscle.
It's like training.
If we don't build our brain. And so what I do is, like, every time I'm uncomfortable, every time I see an audience of 5, 10, 15, 20,000 people and I go, they're going to kill me. If I get on that stage, I'm going to die today because of that paranoid delusion. I go, no, wait, Kevin, stop, breathe. In 4 seconds through my nose, like a whistle. I mean, like 4. And then out 8 seconds, like a whistle, but no sound. Pursed lips. To 8. 4, 8. 4, 8 is one of the most powerful breathing techniques we have on this planet. If you have low blood pressure, don't do it. It lowers your blood pressure. If you have low blood pressure, you want to do 4, 4. All right, just make it clear.
A little variation.
All right,
no, we're in here to
no. You want to teach people like I get into a corner of every time I see those people in that crowd. I get into the front corner. They play my video, the trailer of my film, and I stand there. I sit there, and I do 4, 8 until
it releases
until I hear those words. My name is Kevin Hines, and this is my story. And I walk on.
No shit. How often do you talk about that?
I don't talk about. I talk about it to my friends, but I'm not giving a platform. I guess I could talk about it on stage, but I've done it maybe once or twice. But I keep that to myself because when I'm with individuals on the ground, when the speech is over, I come off the stage and a flood of people come to see me and ask me how they can better their brain health. And a ton of these young ladies and young men are so anxious that all they're doing is crying. They're just tears flowing down their eyes because the story is emotional. And they say it helped them. But they say, how do I defeat my anxiety? And I say, you do 4, 8. Do you have low blood pressure? They usually say no. I say, all right, listen, you do 4, 8. You do 4, 8. And what you need to do is do this 30 times in the morning when you wake up, 30 times before you eat lunch, 30 times before you eat dinner. And anytime you become anxious, anytime you live you're having a panic attack, anytime you are stressed, anytime you are hurting, anytime you're in pain, because it brings you back to a calm. It quells anxiety. It stops panic. It can even help lower an adrenaline rush if you need it to. And by the way, doing that for 6 to 9 months lowers your blood sugar. Come on.
Damn.
Breathing.
Damn.
Just
health.
breathe.
That's even health.
Just breathe.
Just breathe. And that's like, boy, breath work, man. That's so powerful. It's, there's some people in this world that can literally do that all day. Mm-hmm. They literally do 4, 8 all day. Mm. And like, they're the most calm, like, powerful people. And I've met a couple that are just like, and it's like, I'm sitting there, I'm just like, oh my gosh, my brother. How are you breathing like that, my brother? You're talking and you're still breathing. Like, what's up with you?
Come on.
You know what I mean? And it's like, those are what we need to practice. So that's something that people can actually implement today.
Take it home and use it every day. Listen, I gotta be honest with you. I gotta be honest with them. I didn't do that today. I got so hyphy excited, to meet you. We've been talking on.
It's funny because I was so hyped. I was like, yo, this is such an honor. Isn't it funny?
Yeah, it's vice versa. It goes both ways, man. It's a love fest over here on the Create You podcast.
He's married. He's married.
No, I'm happily married to the woman of my dreams. Margaret, I love you. But
Margarita.
Margarita.
Do you ever call her Margarita?
Margarita. Her
Does she
mom
not
did.
like that?
No, it's okay. I got this. This is Margarita.
On the rocks or no rocks?
Oh,
Cold or
she's
sugar on the
warm and cuddly.
Okay, cool.
Anyway,
Okay.
but today I realized that if I look back at the whole day, not to live in the past, but let's be frank.
Okay,
let's be frank. We had a conversation today about how I could shift some of the things I'm doing that you noticed that I didn't notice.
Yeah.
And in those moments, my own technique and tool would have been very helpful if I just put myself to a calm, turned my phone off, and said, let's move on and be in the present, right?
Right. Fuck. Okay. I need to get into this because I know a bunch of people are going to be like off put by this or whatever. Like some might be, whatever. I truly believe that we create the majority of the things that happen in our lives, in our minds and everything that we created. I truly fucking believe that. Like I really do. And the only reason why I do is because of those small things that you just talked about. You just said, I didn't notice these small things that I was doing. And I feel like when you go down to the actual, like the raw core of things and why something big is happening, right? It's just like if you're building a castle or building a puzzle, you put the first puzzle piece down, put the next one down, put the next one down. Now try and remember after 150 pieces where that first puzzle piece was. You think you're going to find it? No, you're going to need to peel, take off. And then soon enough, you get down to that final puzzle piece. You're like, oh my gosh, this is what has been causing the whole fucking puzzle to be shifted. And that's what I think. I truly believe this in people that think that they can't run, that they're paralyzed, whatever it is, cancer. I understand that there's a certain level to this stuff. I do. But at the same time, I don't know if there is a level to this stuff. Because how the fuck was the world made? How was the universe made? How are there particles? How, tell me, you're walking around, right? Some people believe in God, whatever. Like I have my own beliefs. How are you walking around with a nose and like they're all made out of fucking particles and cells in this shit? You know what I mean? Everything in our bodies are placed magnificently together in certain ways. How can you even have hallucinations? How can I even walk around and have someone feeling like they're pressing up against my fucking throat all day? I really believe when we get down to the core, just like you said today, those small things, and you start shifting all of them consistently every single day, you'll see a shift. You'll see a shift. It's just a lot of fucking shifting, man. And what it takes, you don't just go and become Manny Pacquiao or Mayweather. You fucking train and train and train. You have this intuition within yourself that like, hey, I'm the best, or like I'm great, but like they had to train and train and train and train and train. It takes forever, right? But you know why Mayweather's the only person that's up there on that caliber, like that kind of quote unquote? It's because he's the only one that probably wanted it that bad and literally put himself in these situations and fucking studied to this core. This is not going against anybody else that's boxed, but like, I believe everybody can. There's so many other athletes that can be as good as Mayweather, but Mayweather wanted it every single second. Whether it was for money, for girls, whatever it was, he did it every single second of every single day. He breathed it.
I think it was for the watch collection.
It was for the watch collection.
It's a big watch collection.
Yeah. But you see what I'm saying? It's like Mayweather isn't just Mayweather. Like people discredit who he is like as an actual fighter. Like Mayweather is a technician. He is someone that no matter what he's done to anybody else, his craft is his craft.
Yeah.
And we all have a fucking craft. We all have one. You have a craft. Your craft has layers over it everywhere. You know what I mean?
It's a spoken word. You know, I was in my first psych ward stay after my jump off the Golden Gate Bridge, and a lot of people don't know this story. And our first psych ward stay, and a Franciscan friar, you know, like a brother, like he's got the clothes, he's got like the
hood,
the
hood,
the robe, and the white rope, you know. And,
they call it hood.
Yeah, they call it hood. And he's got the red rosary in his right hand. And this cat, Brother George Cherry, I'll never forget it. He looked like St. Francis without the birds. Okay, bright white hair, and he was like in his 70s, and he was the chaplain in this hospital for like 30 years, right? And he comes in. This is the first time he ever didn't look at the chart outside. Something said to him, God spoke to him, I don't know, don't look at the chart, just go inside. He always looked at the chart, so he knew who he was up against, knew who he was talking to. And he comes in, and he goes, hey, kid, what are you in for? I was like, brother, I jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge. And he goes, yeah? Ha! And I'm the Pope. He thought because I was in a psych ward, I was delusional. And I was like, no, homie, that's why I'm wearing this back brace that I'm literally putting on right now, and that's why I walk with this cane. I just had back surgery. And he goes, oh, I'm so sorry. Let's pray. And he comes over to my left side, and he puts his left hand on my forehead. And, you know, I'm a prayerful man. I've had faith my entire life in God, and Catholic faith. And we say the Our Father, and we say a few other prayers that I know very well.
Yeah.
And he says, kid, when you get better, you ought to talk about this. And I looked at him, and I said, about what to who? I had no idea what he meant. No clue. I wanted to keep this secret till my fucking grave.
Yeah.
Pardon my French. I wanted to keep it till my grave. I wanted only my family and my friends to know what was what, and we'll leave it at that. I was embarrassed. I was ashamed. I felt less than. Anyway, Brother George Cherry would come in every day, and every day he would say, kid, when you get better, you got to talk about this. And every day I'd be like, yeah, man. Okay, dude. And on the last day he comes in. He goes, Kevin,
I quit. I'm fucking done.
I'm done. 30 years, it's over. No, he goes, Kevin, I expect you to talk about this someday. And still, no. I still ignored him. I was so reluctant. We get about 7 months past my physical rehabilitation and my psych ward stay, right? And my dad takes me to church. Church I grew up in, Monsignor Michael Harriman, shout out Michael Harriman, marrying me and Margaret and confirming me as a kid. And best priest I ever knew, best father confessor. And he comes out of the service. He comes out after it's over, and it was talking right to me. Like, I think my father went into Michael Harriman's office and was like, listen, this is what you need to say. And I'm drawing a map here. Yeah. This is exactly what you need to say to reach my son. Like, you know, and he has that power because they were on the same board together. I really think that happened. He won't admit it, though. Anyway, neither of them will admit it. But he comes out and he stops me. He says, Kevin, how would you like to come and talk to our school this Good Friday about your experience? 7 months after my attempt. Back brace and cane, could barely make it up those stairs.
Oh my gosh.
I said, Father, I don't have a speech and I wouldn't know what to say. And that's when my father, who's 6'1", and I'm not, shoved me forward with his oven mitt-sized hands and said, he'll do it. And I looked back at my dad like, hey man, what are you doing? And he goes, you'll do it. We need closure. I'm like, Dad, you need closure. I need to go home and lay down.
Yeah.
You know? And he goes, son, you'll do it. And when Patrick Hines says things thrice, you do it.
Thrice.
Thrice, 3 times.
Not even 2 times.
No, 3 times. When he says it 3 times, it's you best not push. Don't push the envelope. So I said, Father, I'll see you on Good Friday. And I'm walking down the stairs like, what are you doing? And I get in the car and I'm like, why'd you do that? And he goes, you'll see. Here's a man of few words, unless he was yelling at me. And so Good Friday comes around. I wrote a speech until 3 a.m. that morning. You know, my father edited it for an hour, and it's 17 pages long, 45 minutes to read aloud. And I go in front of these 6th, 7th, and 8th grade kids, 120 of them.
And you don't read a single word.
No, I did. No,
you did.
I was petrified. I had done theater, but this wasn't I was out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for this. And I'm dropping page by page with a thumb to the floor while reading it, while crying hysterically, while shaking like a leaf, holding my cane to stay standing with my back brace. And at the end of it, I think, at the last page of that drop, I think, that didn't help anybody. I'll never do that again. 8 kids' hands go up immediately, all in their Catholic uniforms, sitting cross-legged on the floor. And I'm like, oh boy, what do they want to ask me? Maybe it had an impact. First kid asked me a question about sex, and then nun goes, don't answer that question. I said I wasn't going to. That was totally inappropriate. And then the 7 remaining questions were beautiful, intuitive, intelligent, filled with hope and thanks and gracious. They were gracious, and they were happy, and it gave them hope. I go home. 2 weeks later, Monsignor Harriman calls me. He says, Kevin, come back to the rectory. My dad's at work. So I huck it 2 miles in my back brace and my cane. And it's a hot day in San Francisco, which is rare. And I am walking up this massive hill. I'm barely making it there. I'm in so much physical pain. And I get there to his office. I'm sweating through my back brace. I'm sweating through all my other clothes. And Monsignor Harriman calls me in, sits me down. He sits in his chair and he goes, Kevin, here. Hands me a giant manila envelope. Inside it was a folder that the kids had made. They'd colored pencil drawn a picture of Jesus from scratch and the Sacred Heart. I open it. 120 letters from 120 kids. And several of them wrote about their active suicidal crisis. Because they were minors under the age of 18. We got them to safety in time, got them the mental health help they needed. The school worked on that with their families, and they're alive today.
Oh, man.
And when I brought these notes back to my dad and he read them, he looked at me and says, Kevin, you have to do this however, wherever, and whenever possible. And we never stopped.
Shit, man.
You know what I mean?
Dude, this reminds me of like one of my main, because I had a suicidal story that I released to everyone on here on the podcast as well, and I hope everyone like actually listened in on that, because it's really important to hear. I think it helps a lot of people, and I think our stories are so powerful. And like even if you feel like you're not worth it, you are worth it, and your story is worth it. I guarantee you, if you're one person, right? I can almost bet there's 100 people in this world that look just like me. You know what I mean? So how isn't there going to be 1 million people that have a similar story to me, or 500,000 people that have a similar story to me, or even shift it a little bit like off of that? Like we're all relatable, and we all have something that can correlate with each other and our stories and our emotions. And that's like the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Is that, dude, even for me, I was on Snapchat one day. I get 2 messages, right? I had like, I don't know, tens of thousands of people that watched my stories at the time. Thank God. Thank you for you. Subscribe now. Appreciate you. But like one of them was a kid that literally was Snapchatting, and a fucking bomb. He's literally Snapchatting like this to me. He's like, hey, Brendan. Like, he's like giving me like, he's about to do like my, hey, good morning. Woo, 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 good. Like this thing. And a bomb goes off in the fucking, like you see it, like boom, like out in his window, outside of his window in the back. Like, and I'm like, what the and then he messages me again and keeps on typing to me and sending me all this stuff. Like he's in a war zone, and like, you know, there's all these different things, but like he was sending me the woo hoo hoo good morning. And it gives me goosebumps and stuff, because it's like, you never know what your word is actually providing to someone. The same day, literally like 2 Snapchats below that, there's a young man that's sitting at the end of a parking garage, and he messages me, he texts me, he says, and this is why I stay up for people. This is why I pay close attention to what people are saying. He says to me, hey, Brendan, my family's in the mall. I'm sitting at the end of a parking garage, and I really want to jump, and I really want to end my life. And because like they don't believe in me, people don't believe in me, no one likes me, like my life sucks, I'm skinny, I'm getting all these like shivers. And he's sitting at the end, and this is what's beautiful about this. He says, Brendan, I'm not going to do it. I'm literally typing to him right now. He says, I'm not going to do it because I keep on hearing multiple things in my head. 1, it's mealtime. And I used to always scream in my vlogs, it's meal time. 2, if you eat right, you feel right. And if you feel right, you look right. And if you look right, you do right. You dig? And then the 3rd one, he kept on saying in his mind, woo, good morning. And he said those 3 phrases saved his life. And he got up and literally went back into the mall to talk to his parents. And he didn't say a single thing of it. And he said, and to this day, like he messaged me, I don't remember what, it was like 6 months ago, I think. And like he reminded me of the situation. And I was like, gosh, that's amazing. And all it took from me was to be myself. You know what I mean? That's all it took from me is me. Like I might get 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 views. Look, I don't care. Logan Paul gets millions of views. Great. The Rock might get millions of views. Great. You know, like everyone might have these big views, small views. What I care about is each person. And because if I'm not myself, then some person will die. That's what I really believe. And so the views don't matter. The views don't matter, because I know that if I touch your life, you're going to go and touch 100 lives. And I just saved maybe 3 lives. And I don't know who it's going to be. I don't know when someone's going to listen, but it's going to impact. And that's why I believe creating you is so important. And your story of explaining what you're going through and like how you can relate to people and how you find the good in things and even this pre-story, like everything, like he was like, hey, do it. And you did it. And because you did it, you saved lives left and right. And that's fucking beauty. You know what I mean? And you got emotional. Why'd you get emotional? Why'd you get emotional? You should actually talk while you cry. You actually get more. You're able to say more.
Because, man, I see the beauty in you. You know, besides, you know, you're just handsome as fuck. But
yeah, I got gray hairs, but it's cool.
And look at those eyes. But
no.
like,
what about my smile? What the fuck?
Nah, brother, like we are all conduits for change. You call it shifting. I love that. And if we shift our perspective on what is in front of us, it cannot destroy us. We just walk past it. You know, I always say, like, you know, if you ain't seeing the hope or the light at the end of the tunnel, you ain't walked far enough to reach it. Keep on moving forward.
Or you're not looking in the right direction.
Exactly. Shift. Go right. Yeah, man.
It's so...
You did something for me today, man. And I don't know, I can't remember if I explained it to you or not, but like, I'm sitting there distracted as hell at lunch.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to be having a meeting talking about this podcast, and I'm distracted as hell. I'm not going to say what distracted me.
Okay, it's cool. It's cool.
But you go and you go, Kevin, stop. Wait a minute. If you just look at it this way and you go that way, everything will change. Yeah. And that's a simple way for me to say what he did for me, but it shifted my perspective, and I realized that I was the one that was looking at it the wrong way. And
We're always the one.
And well, fair enough. And that growth right there will live with me for the rest of my life. And that's why we call it family in the game. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, and one more important thing that he said today that I am terrible at, and every one of my people on my team, and of course my wife and my father, and everyone will say this, I'm terrible at it. I've been terrible at it since I was in kindergarten.
Cool. All the other extra stuff doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. All right.
What are you terrible at?
With your words. I don't. Stop pointing at me, God damn it.
Yes.
No. Besides pointing at people, I don't listen. I have an issue with listening, and it's my issue, and it needs to change today. Today.
Dude, you know what's crazy? You say that you don't listen, but you know who you listen to all the time? The voice that's in your head.
Yeah, man.
So how is it?
There's a lot of them.
That you can say that you can't listen to other people, or you have problems listening to other people, but you can listen all day to all the voices in your head.
Well, it's a what's the word? It's a chosen listening, right? Because when the folks come off the bleachers and they tell me their story, I'm quiet. I hear every word. I get deep with these people, and they feel heard. But then I go home or to my team, and I'm like,
it's something uncomfortable.
It's something uncomfortable, right? And I, after the day, I feel like for the first time I could actually change that shit.
Fuck changing. Hold on. I really want to touch on this because I don't believe in change.
Okay.
I don't believe the word change. I don't believe in the word sacrifice. Both of those words are fucking bullshit to me. To me. I love you, bro. Right. But like for me, I believe sacrifice is something that we let go of when we kind of don't really want to. We're like, oh, I gotta sacrifice this. Here you go. Surrender is like, here you go. This is my free will. I'm giving. Here you go. That's one word. And then the second one is change. I believe when you change, you're fixing something. When you change, you're correcting something. When you change, you're really needing to shift something. But I don't think we need to do anything. I think if we get to number one, and number two, we're transforming. We're transforming. We are evolving. What we are is already good enough. We are just doing more to increase it. There's a phone that went off. Who cares?
Who cares?
It increases more and more. And so that's like the absolute beauty behind the word is your world. Remember, I was like impeccable with your word.
Yeah.
It's fucking literally, hey, I am not going to change you. Imagine if I come up to you and I'm like, hey, Kevin, we're going to change you today. And you're like,
who is this guy?
What the fuck? But what if I say, hey, you're going to transform today, man?
Let's transform your life.
Let's transform your life.
Yes.
And it's not even like let's just say you're going to transform today. Which one sounds so much more juicier? By the way, I love the word juice. Juice.
J for juice. What you said to the last guy today, the guy with the Superman shirt on. Remember him?
Superman. He had a Superman shirt on?
He had a Superman shirt on. Like it was like a military looking Superman shirt on. It was like a military looking Superman shirt on. He had the gentleman you asked to be on the podcast today.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be on it.
Yeah, he's gonna be on it. Like I watched you go up and transform his life in minutes. In minutes you did that, and his eyes lit up, and he felt something, and we all did push-ups with him, and he was all in.
Yeah.
And then he tells us his story, which by the way he was using pretty impeccable words.
Yeah.
A guy's been on the street for a while, and you were like, no, you know what? I like you. We're gonna do something. And you said that you were gonna transform his life. You said he was gonna transform his life.
Yeah, I didn't say I was.
You said he was gonna transform his life. And
he just texted me. He just texted me.
What did he say?
He called me right before we went on here, and he says, "Hey, Brendan, I just made an Instagram." And time out. I said to him, I was like, "Hey, man." He was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that." I'm like, "Okay, have you made an Instagram yet?" He's like, "No, man, I haven't, man." And I'm like, "Cool. You're gonna make an Instagram before our podcast." Literally calls me in an hour later. He's like, "Hey, man, I made an Instagram." Took one conversation. Took someone to just be assertive and be like, "You're going to transform yourself. Build a fucking Instagram right now." And you know what he did? He built an Instagram right now. It's literally the power of our words. Our words are, when I say this, I say it all the time. And some people were just like, "Oh yeah, words are world." Look, your fucking word is everything. All these words on this wall, hardworking, visionary, focused, vulnerable, creative, giving, determination, blessed, loving, joyful, all of them represent something impeccable, something powerful, something visionary, something that represents me and create you. If I ever put a word up there that represented anything other than what I was focused on, it wouldn't be serving me. And so every word that I even thought of putting up on this wall, I was like, okay, it has to be impeccable. It has to be something that will make my world whenever I walk out into the fucking living room of my place. When someone's like, "Hey, what does that word mean?" I want it to mean something to me and my future. I'm not ever using words. I do sometimes, and that's my own discipline that I need to work on. But all of the words that I use represent who I am becoming. And that's the main thing. It's like I live in the present. I work today. I'm here and now. I don't fuck with the past. I don't talk much about my story anymore. I don't like to. I don't think it serves many people. Like when I'm going into the deep of the deeps, right? Yes, I can talk about my story on stage and stuff and then translate it into something big. But when I reference like in general conversation and I'm like, "Hey man, like back when I was really suffering, shaking on the ground, thinking I was dying from cancer," immediately, you know what it does? It puts me back 2 years ago in that mindset, even though I'm still trying to use specific words and it's affecting my discipline. It's like a monk. Imagine if a monk went to the mountains and then he went to the middle of the fucking city and was practicing for 2 days, like just to take 2 days off. It's like you just affected 2 months of the strategy and the structure that you have to become a monk, to be a practicing monk, someone that's very disciplined. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like your word is so powerful, man. Your word, if you think you're going to die, you're going to die. I tell myself things all the time that sometimes I feel like I'm not in control, but I really am. It's just the discipline. I've been telling myself something in my mind for 8 years. You really think a month of work is going to just shift the whole thinking and the way you were doing it? No, you've thought a certain way about depression and all these different things that have gone on in your life for your whole fucking life. Who the fuck told you that you can't, that it's not possible to have none of that?
Yeah.
Who the fuck told you?
Yeah.
Like that.
And you can't reach everyone when you talk about one thing in your life. But you can reach everyone by talking about something they all have. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why, and I'm not gonna get into the dispute between is it bipolar disorder, is it Lyme disease, or is it just, here it is, all right? We all have pain.
Yes.
And some of us have severe brain pain. And if we just call it brain pain, every single audience from the third grade could comprehend the word brain and pain,
Yes.
all the way up can understand what that means.
See, this is what I was getting at, is that like I believe that yes, you have things that you work
Dealing
through,
with, working through.
that you're working through, that you're always combating, right? But here's the thing: some people have arthritis everywhere in their body, right? Some people have, I don't know, brain fog every single day. Some people don't even have a limb. You know, we all have our own pains, and it's just how we deal with them, right? You have things that you really, really, really have that are tough to deal with. They're tough, but you know what? Like, you're fucking strong.
Yes.
And you're resilient, and you have biceps like a King Kong.
Yes.
You know, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Life never promised anyone a smooth sailing, you know?
Yes.
Life is one big risk. When you're born, you're risked. Like, you're one big risk. That's
why I broke my nose so many times.
Yeah, that's why it's a beautiful nose, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking.
You have a beautiful smile.
You know, I got a deviated septum surgery. You know, not the and the guy messed it up. He left the stuff up in there too long, and he goes, "Hey, buddy, you know, I can fix your nose for you." I said, "Excuse me?" He said, "No, it's a very ugly nose. I can fix it."
That's what.
Yeah, doctor. Yeah, and I said, I like my nose. He goes, "Yeah, but you really need to fix it." I was like, "Brother, I'm not."
Brother,
I came in here for deviated septum. Never mind.
You started creating words out of it.
I came in here for I can't breathe, motherfucker. You know, I can't breathe. Fix the breathing part. Leave my nose alone.
Leave my nose.
And he goes, you know, I want you to understand, like, it's free. Like, just because you have the deviated septum, we can just you don't have to pay. If you pay for it outside, it's going to cost you a lot of money.
Gosh.
And I can tell you're going to pay for it someday. I was like, dude,
it
builds character. My nose builds character. I broke it.
Did you ever get it?
No, I broke it this many times. It turned into this shape. It's a freaking beak, and it's gorgeous. Leave my nose alone. If you touch my nose when you put me under, I'm gonna punch you in the face.
You know what's crazy, man? He could have communicated it better with you. He'd be like, "Hey, man, you have a beautiful nose. It's really nice. You have nice little freckles on it. So perfect. Like, when you can go in, you can on your wife's noggin. You can like kiss her a different way. And then he could have been like, "Hey, if you would like,
I could do this.
I could do some stuff."
Hey, look, your nose is very ugly.
For me, hey, here's the thing. Like, people have said the same thing with my skin, like my scars.
Yeah.
Right. And they're like, "Yo, like, I could definitely fix your scars." And I'm like, well, thanks. I actually forgot that I had scars for the past year. Thanks for bringing that up. I really appreciate that one. Now, how are you going to fix them exactly? Well, oh my gosh, so many procedures, and I can give you a discount. Oh my gosh. God bless your soul. Thank you so much. But you know what? The women love these scars, and I'm going to accept it. You know, it's like who the fuck says that this is ugly? You know, who says that your nose is ugly? Who says any of these things? It's our own perspective.
This is what we have a problem of in the world, and this is why these kids are dying left and right of suicide, is because their perceptions of themselves are suicidal thoughts, anxiety, depression, whatever you want to call it, eating disorders. They're the greatest liars we know.
Yeah.
They tell us what they want us to hear, and it's false. That's why so many young ladies are self-harming today and dying by suicide, and young men, and they're doing it at a rate. The youngest person today in America to die by suicide was 4 years old with a crayon note. Why? Because every single day his father beat his mother. And every single day he's called him a little bad boy. The kid thought his name was Bad Boy. He thought he was worthless because his father made him feel worthless. Every single day. And I go around the world, we go around the world, and we see the most disgusting things that fathers and mothers and uncles and aunts are doing to their children. And these kids are broken inside because of the abuses and the neglect they've experienced. And they come to me and they go, "I have to die." And it takes me minutes for them to realize that they can survive the pain.
Dude, like I said, I don't need to be paid to go and travel with you and speak on stage. I know without a doubt that I can go on stage and put some type of motivation in people's minds.
Let's roll.
I would fucking
Let's
love
fly.
with all my being to do that, man. Because what you do is such a blessing. What you've been through in your life is such a blessing. And it's so inspirational. Like, you're at the fingertips of life. You're at the fingertips of life. And we have 10 fingers. That's a lot of life.
That's a lot of life.
No, but seriously, like you have, oh man, if you're listening right now and you want to speak on stage one day, if you want, go do it. You're in need.
Yeah, man.
We're always in need.
Yeah.
What we say is in need. Our authentic and raw selves are in need. Our stories are in need. Just go out there and share it. That's all. That's why I fucking love Instagram. That's why I love social media. Some people complain about it. I'm like, this is the greatest blessing known to man. It's also the greatest curse. With everything great comes shit.
If you allow it to be.
That's true.
If you allow it to be. If you use it for good, ain't nothing wrong.
For us, though.
For us.
But here's the thing is that we don't control society.
No.
Society controls itself.
Yeah.
And that's the part that's like, oh, fuck. You know? That's where we need more of us.
Yeah.
And if you're listening or watching right now and there's someone in your life that is struggling, that is going through a lot, whatever it is, I'm telling you right now, you need to take a stand.
Yeah.
Like, stop allowing them to tell themselves that they're not good enough. Stop allowing them to not walk outside because they feel like someone's going to say something. Stop allowing them to walk through high school, down the halls like I did, thinking that everyone in the world is looking at me and pointing fingers at me. You know why I kind of say, hey, don't point? Does it ring a bell a little bit?
Yeah, man.
It's not, it doesn't, and for me, it doesn't affect me anymore. But I remember what a pointing finger does. You know what I mean? Yeah, and you don't even realize what these things mean. When you point at somebody, you're directing traffic. You're directing it to whoever it is, whatever it is.
It's like leading the witness in a trial.
It's judgment.
Yeah.
It's judgment through action.
Yeah.
It's, hey, you. Judgment. It's literally a judgment of, I'm talking to you. Like, you know how many, if you flick someone off like this, right?
Yeah.
How in the world, like when someone looks at you, right? If it's a complete stranger,
Or in
how
Brazil,
is
it's like
this,
this.
right? How is this different than this to a stranger? You know what I mean? Like when you literally go like this, or you go like this, what do you think shifts in the mind? There's nothing that shifts. They just know what this means.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of worse when you do this to a stranger because they're like, wait, what the fuck does that mean? Yeah. Why are you pointing at me? Does it mean that I have something wrong on my nose? Is it my ears? Is it the fat on my body? Are you trying to fight me? Are you trying to do this? I would rather someone give me this because I know exactly what it means, like fuck you, than hey, this. Because I'm like, like, do I get mad? Do I get this? Now all these things come up in my life.
What if you have something in your teeth that I'm trying to make you aware of, or like a booger in your nose that I want you to get out of?
You say, hey, Brendan,
for that nice
you
lady
have
for that nice lady downstairs at Whole Foods. So
you gotta be. Yeah, we did lock eyes, but like it's like Superman. You just gotta be like this, Brendan, brother. No, pointing is not like if you're friends with someone and you're pointing at something, you could be like, yo, like look at that.
That's
but
going
like,
on right there.
But like
that's it. But that's the only place it has. That's the only time it
has something that you can relate to. But even like it's all about how long you're pointing. I know this sounds cheesy and shit, but like when you go like this, like hey, you look over there. That's a gesture of like, hey, look. It's a whole arm going like that.
Yeah.
When you're like this, it's like you're literally this means so much. You know what I mean?
Like you're pointing out a flaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not cool.
But you're not pointing out a flaw.
No, I wasn't, but I was getting hyped.
But it's the communication.
Yes.
It's like
it's how we perceive things.
You do not control anything that I control, right? And vice versa.
Yeah.
If we want to race, right, in the same car against two other people, we need to work together. 100%.
Yeah.
It really is the same way with the relationships.
I don't have a license.
You don't have a license.
No.
That's very frightening.
Yeah, I'm afraid of driving.
Do you not have a license?
I don't have a license. To drive cars.
Why?
Someday I'll have a license to fly planes, though.
I probably won't hire you, just because I need you to drive a fast car first, brother. I gotta point at you on this one.
Brother.
I'm pointing,
brother. Can we talk about Hulk Hogan for a minute?
Yeah.
I met Hulk Hogan in the airport the other day, and I walked up to him, and I said, "Hey, brother, I've been following you for like my whole life. Can I sat. I had a picture. He goes, we got a plane to catch, brother. Make it quick. And we took a picture like we were the bestest of buddies in the entire world. And everyone was like, how do you know Hulk Hogan? I was like, oh, let me tell you the ways.
Dude, okay, you want to know something funny?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna disclose anything, but I can't remember if it was me or my friend. Hopefully it was me. I don't even know how I don't remember this. I actually you know how you say you have really good long-term memory?
Yeah.
I have really shitty long-term memory.
Oh, okay.
And it's because of the things that I went through in my life. I'm the type of person, I shut it out. Like if you can curse at me all you want, call me whatever, crater face, all these different things. Well, cool. All right, and then I'll go on with my merry way and I'll just go on with my life. Like that's how I am. So I shut down all my past. Like I've shut it down. I don't remember a lot of it. It's crazy. Now I remember everything, but I didn't because I just shut it down. I remember what I do remember. I don't think it was me. It definitely wasn't me. One of my friends dated Hulk Hogan's daughter. He has a few. He has how many daughters does he have? 2?
I only know of one, but I'm not Hulk Hogan, so there could be more.
I thought.
I'm just saying. I'm
maybe
not him,
maybe it's one. But one of my friends dated Hulk Hogan's daughter because I think didn't he live in Florida a little bit, or he had a place in Florida, right, in Miami, and he used to always hang out with the girl, and now I remember whenever he would leave, I'd be like, go get him, brother. And I just feel like that's a
Hulk. If you see this,
no. Okay. Let me shift that really quick. I do not mean that in a sexual connotation.
I know. I know. I didn't mean that. I just had to throw it.
We talked about his dad, like her dad, all the time. Yeah. Like Hulk. So I would be like, "Go get him, brother! Yeah. Like, just go get him, champ! Yeah. Like, go make the relationship whole again."
That got people fired up.
I know.
That got people like,
damn, Hulk, like Hogan, man. Just don't listen. If there's any raving fans that are going to send me death threats, please don't. I'm a believer in his family and his daughter. There was no harm foul.
No, it's all good.
I believe in all of them. Yeah. But so,
and we can all be better people.
Yeah, we can all be better.
We can all be better. We can do better. We can learn from our mistakes, move forward, and shift, or we cannot. And that's the thing. Like so many people get stuck in being just this.
Yeah.
Just this little circle right here. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is who I am. This is what I do. Repeat. Like look at Japan. Like
it's so funny that you just hold on. You just said Japan and it has like a circle. Like it's literally like their flag is like.
No, just look at Japan for a minute. In Japan, people are dying at their place of work more rapidly than any other place in the world. Yes, men, women, and young people.
Why?
Because they are working themselves to death in a society they don't love, in a place they're not happy with. And if you go to Japan and you walk down the street during business hours, everyone was wearing the same color suit, the same color tie.
Really?
It's conformity. And they're going to the same dead-end job. Not dead-end jobs. They're going to good jobs, but they're working till they die.
Yeah.
That's sad. Like, I would never work until I died. I'm gonna work on trying to help people until I die.
Right.
Because that's something that is innate. That's something inside me. When I was 4 years of age, I went to my neighbor's house, Ron Hummel, may he rest in peace, and he's on this giant John Deere lawnmower. I'm like, hey, Ron, I'd like to mow your lawn for you. And I was 4. And he goes, Kevin, do you know how to use this machine? I said, no. And he said, well, Kevin, no, not until you're 18. When you're 18, you can mow my lawn. And then I did. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up and I started a lawnmower making business. Lawnmower.
I've not been in the lawnmower game for a long time.
I was in the lawnmower game, and then I turned it into a babysitting business. But nonetheless, I was a kid.
Wait, what?
And I shifted.
And now I'm a babysitter.
Babysitting made more money. Come on, all right.
Okay, yeah, you're making big bucks.
Yeah, so focus on what you need. I had to buy those comic books. Come on, and so what I'm saying is like I was a kid, and I was like, I want to help this guy. And then I followed through because of discipline. And when I got old enough to ride that stupid lawnmower, I did it.
Yeah.
You know, and so being, like you said earlier, being a person of your word, right? And we don't want to be working until we die.
Yeah.
We want to be working to put a nest egg away to give back to those we love.
Yeah.
That's why we want to work.
Or we want to live to work. Where it's like it's combined. And I think what you're saying is that people that maybe in different societies around the world is that they kind of settle, even though they have these things in their mind, they're just not doers. They're not doing in the way that they should. And when I say doers, it's not that they aren't a doer. It's just they're not doing in their authentic self. And that's the big difference between like successful people. You know, when you say, hey, I'm really successful. I have 8 cars. I have this much money. But you're not your authentic self. And you're not outside and you're not screaming at the top of your lungs when you want to. You're not running down that, like when you see people drumming, like, let me give you an example. I can't even speak. When I was at the Denver Nuggets game, they were doing like the band and everything. And I wanted to dance in front of all of them. And I usually do, right? But I just didn't. And I was cheating myself there. I was lacking discipline. Because the discipline that I have that I want is to be able to go in front of everyone and not care what everybody else thought. But I thought, hey, what if I do that? Then everyone will see me and it'll be weird. Just like in Japan, when you're walking down the street, all these men and women, they're like, what if I'm the person wearing a bright orange shirt? What would happen? You know what would happen? People would kind of point in a way, but it would be from their own insecurities of what you're accomplishing, and it would shift their mindset. And that's what we are. We're like that little pebble in a big blue sea that can literally change the whole sea, but we just don't see it.
But if you're that girl walking out in orange or that really wild outfit, and then some of these girls in Japan have these wild outfits that they build their own personality from, it really makes them feel amazing. They've got that subculture that is phenomenal, that like you just do you be you, and they absolutely have that. I'm not denying that. But like, what if you're that girl in that bright orange jumper, and the little girl who's been trained to be the way she's supposed to be by her mom and dad goes, oh, I can be different.
Yeah.
I can be.
Yeah, that's the cool thing.
So you inspire change just by doing the simplest of things. Transformation, not change.
And you're pointing at me.
Oh, son of a gym basket.
And you just hit my expensive table.
No,
I'm kidding.
I'm buffering it out.
I'm kidding.
Buffering it out.
But it's true but here's the thing. What many of us don't realize is that with your own transformation comes a lot of heat. With your own authenticity comes a lot of heat, because as we are being authentic and our normal selves, we're actually in a society that is already very, very off. And so right when you shift, I just guarantee it, you will hear a lot of backlash. It comes with the territory. It's when you're succeeding, when let's say you're growing your following, you're doing this, you're doing that, you write a book, whatever it is, there's somebody. There is someone that says, I don't like this, so I'm going to tell you. And it's because they want it for themselves. Here's the thing, though, is that when those things come, and this is a strategy that I use, you can just talk to that person. And you listen to them. You say, hey, why do you think that? They tell you. And then they actually shift their own mind because of you just listening.
If you kill them with kindness and you genuinely mean it, like someone, I had a guy come at me the other day on Instagram and say that he was going to kill me and my entire family. I don't want to give him any credence up here, but I'm saying that's what he said.
Brother,
that's what he said.
I invite you to Chipotle,
and
brother.
I wrote back and I said, I hope you live a good life and I wish you well. That's it. Because, he's unwell.
What if you said, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
What if you said, and I see where you're going with that, but what if you said, rather than that, you said, hey man, why do you want to do that? And then he was like, oh, I just think you're bullshit, and I think you're using what your story is, all these different things.
That stuff.
And then you say, well, man, what are you going through, man?
Mm.
And then he says, oh shit, man, like I'm going through this, and this. I didn't think you were gonna ask. I was just trolling you. Yeah. Dude, I've had so many of these conversations where someone's threatened my life as well. Yeah. Said, I'm gonna kill you. You're a piece of shit. I hope you die, whatever. I messaged back and I said, why do you want me to die? Oh, you're toxic to this industry, all this fake shit. Why do you feel like I'm toxic and whatever? Because you did this, and this. I was like, why does that bother you, man? Oh, because this. Dude, what's going on in your life, man? I'm here for you. Oh, well, like, I still can't stand you a little bit, but like, I'll just tell you, and then it shifts. And that's what, like, that's all people are wanting. It's like this, it's like the energy, the feminine, masculine energy and all this stuff. Yeah. It encompasses
X
even
and Y
that.
chromosomes.
It's like, hey, I'm going to throw this stuff out here, and all I really want is your attention and you to listen to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was a good thing Logan taught me. He was like, look, there are no haters. There are no haters. There's just people in different kinds of pain who express it in different kinds of ways.
Yeah.
He basically was like, I don't believe, he said it on his podcast, I don't believe in haters. I believe there's just people that are trying to express themselves in the way they know how. I get that. It actually makes sense.
Yeah.
It's logical.
They're just trying, they don't know how to express themselves.
They don't know how to express themselves. What if that kid's at home and his father is telling him every day he's going to kill him? That shit happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens.
One of my greatest friends and advocates in the field died last year of suicide. Oh, wow. And his father tried to kill him when he was 12 a couple times. And he would go on to be in the Gulf War, and he would go on to be a Navy SEAL. And he would have the highest accolades, and he would go on to write a beautiful book about redemption. and then he broke and he fought so hard for 35 years, 35 maybe more years to give back to his community, to prevent suicide, to save lives. He saved so many lives.
Yeah.
But he couldn't save himself. And the man called me. He called me 3 weeks before to tell me that my story was the only thing that saved his life.
Mm.
And then I get a call on a plane to San Francisco from Mexico City. And they tell me he's dead. I hold no guilt for what happened. You know, he did ask me to call him more often. I didn't. That's happened a couple of times to a couple of buddies, you know, but shit, that hurts.
Yeah.
You know, like he was the homie. I don't know why I went there, but like I just want to say this. To Eric's family, I love you. I'm sorry your father's gone. I'm sorry your husband's gone. He's a beautiful human being. And right now, I want to hold the torch for him and hold immeasurable gratitude for the very little time we had with him.
Yes.
Because if we hold gratitude, even in the pain of his loss, we'll never forget his light. We'll never forget the effect he had on this world. And we'll never forget the numerous amount of people around the world that his words saved.
And the beautiful thing is that you can always find beauty in everything, right? And like those tears are powerful. Those are being sad, right? It can only last so long, right? It's like how do we shift those things? How do we talk about shifting all the time, but it's like that shit hurts, right? But now it lives inside of you, and it makes you even more powerful to save more lives. Because his life, he might have taken his life. Now the story is in you, and what he has created and everything has saved thousands of lives.
I think of the 8 people that I love that I lost, right? Yeah. And one of them was this year, just 3 weeks ago. And
Wow.
I think of the 8 people that I lost so far, including my biological mother. And before I could ever hold her and tell her I loved her, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she's still the most beautiful woman in the world. Next to my wife, next to Debbie Hines, who's my mom now. And, you know, it's just like, I think of the 8 people I lost and I go, look at the destruction that happened after they died. The complete crumbling of the people around them that loved them so much and fought so hard for them to stay, right? And then I think of the chronic suicidal thoughts I have. And I think of how they plague me, but they don't destroy me. They only build me. Because every time I have those thoughts, I turn to someone right next to me. I didn't point. I did there, but I did something. I turned to the person right next to me, and I say 4 simple but effective words. I need help now. And what do?
Give you help.
You give me help.
Because you asked for support.
Because I asked for support. And if you can't find that person next to you or around you, you go search for that person.
Until you find
you
them.
search until you find the person that is willing to give you the time of day and to empathize with you and your pain.
Yeah.
And you stay here, damn it. You be here tomorrow. We need you.
Yeah. Dude, fuck it. Bro, I love you, man.
I love you too.
I need your help, support. I think I'm gonna close on this one, man.
All right.
That was amazing. Like, while he's gathering himself a little bit more, like this is something that I want to bring up. Your support is there, but only if you ask. It doesn't just come from like it doesn't just like magically happen, right? If you ask, you shall receive. It's as simple as that. I have gone through my life, the majority of my life, not asking for anything. It's built a fucking warrior. Yes, it has. But at the same time, it has created so much pain that was unnecessary. And it's pushed me to limits that I never should have seen. I never even wanted to see. Things that didn't serve me, that wasted time. All this stuff just because I couldn't be like, hey, can we just talk? Hey, can we go get tea? Hey, do you think you can help me with this piece of mail? Or, hey, do you think you can send this to me? Like, your meaning in what you communicate is everything. And it's so valuable. So if you're listening or watching right now and you feel like no one's going to hear you, I guarantee I will give you $1 million. If someone doesn't listen to you, I will fucking give you $1 million. Just don't do stupid shit. Just don't be stupid. Don't do stupid shit. Like, your life, number one, is valuable. Number two, your vision is incredible. And 3, your mind is impeccable. And those 3 things will not only carry over when you ask for support, but they will blossom more than you could ever imagine. So, without further ado, Kevin, my man, thank you so much for coming on this podcast. This was fucking amazing. I'm glad we sat here and we just talked. We went through stories. We discussed this, that. Like, this is all exactly what I've ever wanted and asked for. You are an honorable man. And when you just said you have chronic, like, suicidal thoughts or anything like that, let's cut out the chronic. All right. Let's get this shit out. Yeah. Let's get this stuff out. Yeah. And if you need to scream at the top of your lungs with a warrior chant, whatever the fuck you need to do, let's do it, man. I'll come see you. I am here for people. If I can direct you in the right place, I will do that. If I can give you my time, I will do that. If I have a friend that can help you, I will do that. But just know you're not alone. Even me, I've had my suicidal thoughts. Even me, I've been depressed. I get depressed. I have so much anxiety. Nobody really knows this stuff. I just choose every single moment of every single day. It's a habit. I run at night because I fucking choose to. I wake up early because I fucking choose to. I eat the right foods because I choose to. I say no to this and no to that and no to this relationship, and I don't stand here and I stand for people there because I choose to. But it's a discipline. The reason why I'm so disciplined is because it just started with, okay, I'll just try this. That's why I'm so disciplined. And people are so confused all the time at how the fuck I do this or do that. How do I work so much? How do I work these many hours and this and that? It's because I choose to. You choose to travel around the world and bring your message to people's lives so it can transform them. And you know what it does? It saves lives. It's as easy as that. Choose and you will create you. And when you create you, you'll create everyone around you. So, without further ado, Kevin, thank you for coming on, man. Where can they find you?
YouTube.com/Kevin Hines. Hit subscribe and click that bell and listen. Be your authentic self. Be you, because you're just beautiful just as you are. You're perfect just as you are. And if nobody else has it today, we love you. And we got your back. And we want you to stay.
Hell yeah. Kevin, thank you so much for coming on. You can also check him out on Instagram. All his foundations, everything you can find out. Like, just type in Kevin Hines online. You can see where he's speaking. Hopefully he's speaking sometime near you, and hopefully I'm speaking there too. You know what I mean?
You want to see us speak together? We need to hear you. Yeah, people. We need to hear the people. Let us know what you think. All right?
Yeah, please do. So thank you for tuning in for yet another episode of the Create You Experience. Remember, when you review the podcast on iTunes, you get 7 free gifts: my Ab Up program, some meal plans, lean muscle gaining, and fat loss. Oh, and you get a business builder, and you get a business checklist. Oh shit, I'm having a seizure. And you get a grocery list. So when you get a chance, go on over there. It's in the show notes. It's also in the description. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of the Create You Experience, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
Flight. I'm dedicated to growth. I keep my mind right. I fell down, got up. I'm unbreakable. Anything in my way, I'ma break through. Lights, camera, action, take 2. Can't worry about what they do. You gotta create you.